What's going on, family? Thank you for tuning in to today's live. You're locked in with the Coach Smook Network, and I'm your host, Coach Smook, your favorite Alabama insider and sports media personality. Before we get rolling, do me a quick favor. Tap that like button, share the stream out, and if you're new here, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you never miss any of the action. Now listen, if you really rock with what we're building here, I invite you to take the opportunity to support the channel by becoming a member of the AAA family. Our mantra is authenticity above all. Everything we do, our content and our community, is built on creating and enjoying quality, authentic conversations, real insight, and real information surrounding sports entertainment. Your membership directly assists in the growth of the Coach Smook Network, and every hard-earned dollar you contribute is not only appreciated, it's paid forward. We proudly make monthly contributions to various community health and awareness organizations because impact matters. If you want to get even more involved with the community, be sure to join our Discord. You can type the command right now in the live chat or head over to our main YouTube page and click the Linktree link in the description. And for those who want to support the network directly, you can donate through multiple options: Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App. Every bit of support helps us continue to grow and elevate this platform. Thank you all for the love and the support and the energy you bring every single time. Now buckle up because it's time to get into the show. Somebody type it in the chat. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook. Let's get it. Let's go, AAA family. Come on, y'all, come in. Give it up for yourselves. Give it up. Appreciate y'all for tapping in today. Listen, I know we got the mid-afternoon crowd. We just got off a crazy morning show live, but we got a special occasion here today, a kickoff of something that I've been trying to do for over 2 years now, right at 2 years here on the network. And we've kind of just, with the way that we've been moving, we haven't been able to do it like we want to. But now we have officially kicked off this series. We're going behind the scenes. We're getting connected. We're networking. We're discovering stories and impactful moments in sports and personalities, athletes, people that have impacted the game of football in particular, past the field, past the sidelines, past the offices. We're talking about people that are giving back to their communities, that are impacting generations of young men and women in this industry that we like to enjoy, which is the sports entertainment industry. So I'm glad to have this special guest here, someone that, when we talk about Alabama royalty, former players and things of that nature, yes, we highlight that, but this is somebody that's a product of where I'm from, literally, Phoenix City, Alabama. If you don't know about it, if you know about it, it's because you've been there. If you don't know about it, you probably won't ever know about it, but it's right there on the Georgia line. And I growing up in Phoenix City is not, easy. It's gotten a lot better as the city borders continue to expand and, new neighborhoods get built. But growing up in Phoenix City isn't easy. And especially back in the day during this time when racism and civil rights movement was a heavy thing. And to see gentlemen like our special guest today persevere through it and do what he did during his time in Alabama, but then to come back, give back to his community, give back to the university that gave him an opportunity, and continue just to impact lives. I am so happy and honored to have this opportunity to have this special guest here. So I'm not going to do nothing crazy today. I know we live, so if you're in the live chat, thank you for pulling up live. Don't forget, come in, like, and share the stream. Make sure you hit a thumbs up. Drop a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. But we're going to get this done and we're going to get this edited up and get it out because I think people need to have a lot more exposure to this side of what this gentleman is doing. This great man of God, man. I'm telling you, we share like faith and everything. But without further ado, man, bring into the stage, chat, the AAA family. I want y'all to give it up for none other than the GOAT himself, Jeremiah. Pretty boy, Castille. Look. That's a smooth gentleman right there. Y'all give it up for him right there, AAA family. How you doing, sir?
We're excellent, man. Blessed today.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming on today. For real, I am so I just don't think you understand. This has been a season of just, overflowing and God just really just coming in and just boom, blowing your mind. So I'm in a space right now. I'm on this grind and opportunities are presenting themselves. And this is one that I've been looking forward to. How's your day going today, man?
Coach Smook, every day that God gives me is a blessed day. So I'm one of those that believe in seizing the moment every day. I'm one day past celebrating my 65th birthday.
Yes, sir. Happy belated.
Yesterday I celebrated 65 years, and man, excited about just every decade that God gives me here on out, and excited about the work that He's called us to do at the University of Alabama and down and here also in Birmingham. So we are, and it's about that work and grind for me. I'll be honest
Yes,
with
sir. Look,
you.
I
That
saw you in the gym on Instagram and I was like, yeah, he's still getting to it. My dad's the same way. He just celebrated his 60th birthday August 31st of last year. So he'll be 61 this year. And you know, former athlete, retired military is like when it's in you, it's hard to get it out of it. And the benefits of that healthy living and paying attention by staying spiritually fit, staying physically, emotionally fit, that matters in living a long and prosperous life. So it's cool to see that. I was telling my brand manager, she was like, you ought to see if he'll invite you to a workout. I call myself being a fitness junkie. And I haven't been in the gym in probably like 3 months, but I still do my thing at home. I was like, man, he'll probably break me off right now. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
we
But
get after it pretty good for I'm just I'm crazy like that. I
yeah,
just I grew up undersized and told I was too small, so the gym is where I had to, what lifting weight is what I had to do to be able to compete.
yes, sir, yes, sir. And speaking of that mentality, a lot of people kind of they think it started when you got to Alabama and had to go through Bear Bryant's, the grueling Bear Bryant camps and all of that. Where did it really start? Can you let's kind of just break the ice with where the mentality to just be that competitor and that that keen focus that you seem to carry throughout your whole life, just the ability to stay focused and be mission oriented and execute. Like, where does that derive from?
It started with my father, Joseph Castille. I as a young boy, my dad, Coach Smook, never owned a vehicle. He never had driver's license. We lived in
Mm,
South Phoenix City, and as a 12, 13, 14-year-old boy, my dad worked 3 jobs, and he worked a day job, night job, and I walked to work with him on the night job. We'd walk to Columbus, Georgia from Phoenix City, work all night, and then I walk back home. And my
mm,
dad was a World War II vet, and his deal is he gonna tell you something one time, and that's
that's
it.
it.
But it's done. So in matter of fact, that restaurant is still there in Columbus called the Getch's House.
Yes, sir.
It's still there, and so we cleaned it. We bust the tables at night and cleaned all that stuff up. And I like to tell people when I got to the University of Alabama at 18, I was an 18-year-old man.
Yeah. And I tell people all the time, you hear about the milk guys, the milk boys, and then the milk carton boys, and then over there where the C Club is now, I forget what the little place is used to be over there, but all the different hustles that was going on in Phoenix City, it kind of like the guys that made it out of Phoenix City to the big name schools, the Auburns and the Alabamas back in that time, they had that work ethic, and that's been something that's been prevalent throughout like generations of athletes or people that come and just leave Phoenix City. I know for me, the resilience factor, I just learned it being in the school system at Phoenix City. It's something I wasn't used to being a military brat. I started off at Rush County, but then once I got to Central, it was like a culture shock. We was kind of country down in Rush County. You get to Phoenix City, everybody think Phoenix City country. No, it's a blend, and it's even worse now with the military population. It's just I ain't gonna say worse. It's a lot different now, but you look at how far it's come, because of some of the change and things that some of the bars that people like yourself set. What was that like? Committing to Alabama, coming out of Phoenix City,
Well,
like.
I like to tell people the vision to play at the University of Alabama came when I was in middle school, probably 7th grade, 8th grade, and Woodrow Lowe was the All-American linebacker at that
Yes,
time.
sir.
And when I was in elementary school, I I walked to Meadow Lane from South Phoenix City. We passed by Woodrow's them house every day, and they would say, "Hey, man, the Lowe's live over there. The Lowe's in that
Hmm.
just a beautiful white house." And and versus what I grew up in, I'm like, man, I like a house like that one day.
Right.
And so that was something that I knew of. And then when middle school, I'm watching on a Sunday the Coach Bryant show. Show came on a Sunday, and that particular Sunday, Coach Bryant said Woodrow Lowe on the tackle, Phoenix City, Alabama. Bingo.
Uh,
That's what he said. And when he said that, I said, I'm going to Alabama.
man.
I'm going to Alabama. So middle school, high school, that's my vision. That's what I'm proclamating. I'm proclaiming that and telling people, man, I'm going to Alabama, man. I'm gonna play ball at Alabama. And I really focused on that.
Yeah.
I really focused on it, and started working towards it. Ran track, played basketball, did it, just trying to become the best athlete that I could become. I was undersized, but the neat thing about it is Coach Bryant took a chance on me and
Yeah.
opportunity as a 5'9", 155-pound defensive back.
Wow. I what's crazy is when I went in my freshman year of college, I was 6'1", 160, like soaking wet. And like you, the coach that gave me a chance, I didn't have this junior year I needed to have. I tore my ACL senior year, but he gave me a chance, and that's what really opened my eyes for my love for the game of football when I started seeing how it impacted me. I had my father in my life, I had my mother in my life, grew up in a good home, stable and everything, but I was creating issues for myself, and it took somebody who really saw, you know, better in me, or saw the value that had been placed in me and everything that had been taught. Because I would try to fit in and do things that after practice that I knew I wasn't supposed to be doing. And so my coach pulled me aside, and I got on the field for 4 games my freshman year. I was supposed to be redshirted. They brought me on. They were going to redshirt me, let me develop my body. I ended up getting up to like 172 before the season. So yeah, they let your boy out there on the field second week. Had 2 injuries in front of me, and I was doing good, and I had a high ankle sprain, and I was just so stubborn. But I remember my coach sat me down. He said, "Sometimes, man, God gonna slow you down because you're not ready for that ultimate blessing that He got you for." And I look at your story and I just admire the focus, because I find myself in that place now, not regretting what I felt like I missed out on, but knowing that if I would have got a hold to what I thought I wanted then, I wouldn't be where I am now, enjoying these moments like this. So just to hear that story of seeing it, speaking it, and achieving it because you really believe it. That's something that I could use on my day to day now, and it's just an awesome thing to hear. I wanted to kind of highlight another part of your life, man. Everybody, y'all, if y'all want to look at all the Bama accolades and things he did at Bama, they not hard to find. I told my chat this morning I've watched what is it, More Than a Winner. I've watched it like 7 times.
Nothing but a winner.
Nothing but a winner. I
But
done watched it 7 or 8 times since it has gotten out. And your son did a good job being on that production team. It was crazy to see like some of the things that our culture went through. Was that a driving motivation once you kind of left the game? Was that like to come in and impact the young African American men in athletics and kind of start guiding and mentoring?
God just really placed that on my heart that he he blessed our ethnicity with tremendous athletic ability. You know,
Mm-hmm.
in the locker room with these guys, man, you like, and you play with them, you're like, he just blessed our ethnicity. And after I got through playing, what he really laid on my heart to do was help develop the leadership in that next generation of, hey man, you have an ability. When he gives us an ability, then we have a responsibility.
Yes, sir.
And so that's what I have really been about ever since he called me out of the game, is through mentoring, coaching, discipling, getting young African-American men to realize the giftedness that God has placed in them.
Yes, sir.
Giftedness there. And it excites me when I can, you know, get involved in one of those, just like with the players down at University of Alabama, you know, their spiritual development,
Yeah.
got the things happening for the physical side, but the football is a platform. What uh, I try to teach them is God's given you that ability to achieve, but he wants you to excel so that you could turn around, you can be blessed, and then you can turn around and bless others.
Bless others. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love that message. And I'm glad that you kind of segued into that. What was that? What was those moments like as you begin to see over the past, I would say even like towards the end of Coach Saban's tenure, you saw that players, and I know you had a great impact on it. I remember talking to Chris Owens about, some of the interactions, things that you would say and speak to the team about while he was playing there. And he was like, you actually caught his attention to spiritually, really settle in with who he was in God. But just what was that like to experience? And I know you being a pastor and a leader, you've seen it happen in church, but to see it happen at that level at the University of Alabama, the way that it started transpiring with these players being so public about their faith, because that's something that, me being a preacher's son, like, I don't care what I done did. I know what God done kept me and where he done brought me through. So I have never been ashamed of the gospel of the Lord. So when that started happening at Alabama and you started seeing it kind of just spread, what was that feeling like? Can you kind of give us like what went into that, and then to see that process
Well,
and see that come to fruition?
well, Coach, when I got, it really goes back to when I got to Alabama. There's a ministry called Athletes in Action,
Yes, sir.
Campus Crusade for Christ. Eddie Lowe, who was my roommate, we got involved with that ministry. And over the 4 years of our time at Alabama, we were discipled and mentored by the guy that ran it on campus. And he really did a tremendous job with us. His name is Brent Nelson. He's still alive today. And he really, the things that we had to do at Alabama as a football player, number one thing was commit. Coach Bryant, whole thing is, man, you're going to commit to this. Commitment is a big word today. That's where you get greatness from. It's from people that commit and that understand that whatever it is in life, you have to commit. But anyway, he wanted us to do the same thing with the spiritual maturation of our life. And man, it took time
Yeah.
out of, when you're in college, you're trying to have fun
Right.
with the little time you got, especially as a ball player. And we committed to that. And it was it's been one of the biggest blessings in my life, because God matured me and I was ready to enter into the NFL
Yeah.
as a young African-American man that had an identity in Christ.
Yes, sir.
Knew my identity in Christ. And so when that happened, I got out of ball, all of those things, God called me, but I had the opportunity to return in 2001 to go back to Alabama.
Yeah.
And I took up that opportunity. So this is my 25th year as a chaplain.
Oh.
So I took that opportunity because those 4 years were so impactful in the maturity of me as a person.
Mm-hmm.
I said, man, I want as many guys to experience what I experienced at the University of Alabama, not football wise, because I
But
wasn't
just that
coaching.
life impact, that life impact.
That's it. It was the maturation of them as a person in taking the spiritual area of life, and me coaching them in that, because that's how, I mean, for me, the spiritual area is what allowed me to be a great player.
Yeah.
I mean, it really did. It bettered me as a person overall. When you're focused, you don't have a lot of distractions. Man, you can excel on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened for me, because I had distractions. One of them was my mother, who had a severe drinking problem there in Phoenix City, and by getting drafted, I had a chance. I'm kind of maybe going a little down this little road here, but
Yeah, go ahead.
Together.
We wish you, sir. Look, this is my show. Like this is how life, authenticity above all is our thing, and this is what I wanted to get. This is the side that I couldn't find clips of on other channels. You know, I don't know why people run from talking about their faith so much in this industry, as if me, like, what, I wouldn't be here without them. So I love this. This is home for me. Go ahead, sir. Continue. We enjoying it. Chat, continue running likes up if y'all could, man. Jeremiah Castille.
Well, I when I got to Alabama, I had a vision. I had a vision for my life and part of it included my mom and my dad, especially my mother, who had a severe drinking problem. I came to the Lord at 13. And when I did, one of the first things he gave me was a dream, a vision that my mother could be sober.
Yeah.
I loved my mother. I was a mama's boy.
Me too.
And I wanted to see my mother sober, because I saw my mother walk the streets of Phoenix City barefoot, intoxicated. And those are shameful things that as a 13, 14, 15-year-old, you having to deal with.
Yeah.
I had to deal with domestic violence, my parents having, not, just fighting. And so the most powerful thing that happened was I met the Lord.
Yeah.
He gave me the strength and a vision that all of that could change. All of it could change. And he gave me a strength living in that home with all that chaos. He gave me a peace in the midst of the adversity, in the midst of the storms. And so that's what I was focused on when I got to Alabama. And he brought people in my life that was able to help me continue to go on that way. And so I got drafted, put my mother in rehab.
Yeah.
30 days later, she met the Lord when she was in rehab. He sobered her up, saved her, and she lived the next 34 years without never ever taking another drink.
Look at God, man. See, and that's, sir, I just, and you hear those inspirational stories all the time. You hear everybody kind of experience those, but we'll be burying my aunt, my dad's second oldest sister, I think. She's the second oldest, but we'll be burying her this Saturday. And if my family's watching, I hope nobody take this the wrong way, but she went through a lot in her life, and she was so accountable to the point what I admire about her. She never blamed anybody for where she was or what she was doing. She chose, and she never wanted anybody to carry that weight. And when life, became precious to her, it was almost too late, and the time that we got to have with her, those were moments that I know me and my sister, they say my sister's her little twin. But we prayed for my auntie in those moments, and those times, those
Amen.
moments where she would come visit us in ministry assignments, and the spirit of God would touch her in service, and you could tell that He was moving her. Those moments, I'm gonna always remember those. And like you said, it's crazy how God will allow the worst of the worst to happen to you. So when He puts you in place to give you those things you've been praying for, like you don't fumble it. And it's crazy that you even told the story like that, because that's where I'm at in my life right now, sir. Like everything that's happened in my life, a lot of people look at where I'm at in this content creation stuff and they think that I've been doing this forever, but like God pulled me into this. Crazy as it may sound, He pulled me into this. I have so many other skill sets, things that I do that I feel like would help me provide for my family and set up my legacy and things. But He pulled me away from security in the military, away from the security of being at my parents' ministry and not stretching myself spiritually. Like literally just pulling me, going through a divorce, all these different things to set me up for moments like what I've been having and experiencing in that quiet place, to where, like you said, those distractions, the level of focus that has been obtained in my life over the past 2 years, you know, I'm grateful for those dark moments, those hard struggles that I couldn't really let God have until He had like literally put me in a space to where I couldn't do nothing but let it go so I could hold on to Him. Like those moments, sir, they mean so much. And so I'm glad that, that's part of your story, your legacy, your life. It's that's gonna touch people. Speak on your mentorship program. I think that is something that is so impactful. Like I was reading up on like how long it's been established. I think Sherman Williams does something similar also with his uh program too.
Well,
So
we have mentorship we've done for 25 years at the University of Alabama. Probably one of the most well-known guys through our chapel program and our off-season program, well-known guys that we baptized would be Bryce Young. We baptized Bryce
yeah,
while at the University of Alabama. He was involved in our chapel program. Then we do the same thing here in Birmingham with young inner city young men, and have been doing that. Actually, I started doing that work almost 30 years ago when I moved here to Birmingham. So
yeah,
about 5 years before I came on board with what we do down at Alabama, I was doing it here in Birmingham, and we have taken young men literally into our home. My wife and I were talking the other day. We was trying to count up how many people have lived with us.
Look, all these children, and that's it's funny because when I saw you first, Kaylin DeBoer's first spring, and we had that massive group of scouts, prospects visiting. It was like I think over 200 scouts came and visited. California Power brought their team, and you spoke with Coach Porter and his team, and I sat in right there in that classroom, and I didn't know at the time. I'm new to credentialed media. I didn't know at the time I wasn't supposed to be there, but you spoke to them about, humble beginnings, but, appreciating for those that didn't have to start at humble beginnings. Like you was telling them their opportunity is rare, to be a part of that organization. And I held on to that because I was in a rare opportunity. I didn't go to school for journalism, none of that. And I'm in there sideline reporting and doing things I didn't even plan to ever do in my life. So it's crazy that what your foundation has done for a lot of young men coming out of Birmingham. We know about Birmingham. We know about Montgomery. We know about all the hot spots in the state of Alabama, that high killings, murders, drugs, all that stuff. To
Well,
see the
most of these guys, especially in Birmingham, they grew up without a father. So
yeah,
they're not a father. What's neat for me is we have 6 biological children, and our oldest son is 41, but he's got big brothers. This guy's lived with us that's
yeah,
older than him. So he's not actually the oldest son in the family. And what's neat, Coach Smook, is that these guys grew up without their fathers, but they're married in their fathers today.
yes,
Man,
sir.
that's the great. It'd be very. My mother's sobriety is probably my greatest satisfaction. But next to that is these young men that grew up without fathers in the inner city of Birmingham. And today they're married. And some of them we married. We did the
Yeah,
preaching. and the whole works, man. And they're married, 2, 3, 4 children. I was with some of them last night, celebrating my birthday, and I'm looking at these. I remember when you was staying at the house. Didn't have a whole. I mean, they're married, successful, young. It shows you the goodness of God.
Yeah.
It shows the power of God. He's powerful, brother.
Yes, sir. Look,
powerful, good Heavenly Father. And that was my experience coming through Phoenix City and Alabama. And so that's what I attempt to give back to young men.
I think that's why I gravitate to you, because I've watched my dad do the same thing in ministry for my whole life. I'm 30, I'll be 36 this year. I don't think I've spent more than, from the time I can remember, I've been in ministry, and my parents have been serving in some sort, some facet of ministry. But as far as pastoral leadership, 2001 is when we started our ministry in Columbus, and we're still up and operating today. So majority of my life, I've seen grown men with, a wife and kids, but they didn't know how to be a father. They didn't know how to be a husband. And I've shared my father in that space on both the spiritual side, and like literally, I remember riding with him to break up domestic violence incidents and watch those families reconcile. Men break down in front of the woman they was just talking about they gonna beat up, because of the God in my father and the type of mentorship. So impacting the men, and this is not to degrade the woman, but divine order. God made it a certain way for a reason. And when you're in order, when you're in alignment, it's not going against each other. You're working together because that's the way that God ordained it, And I saw that in my house. My mom is a strong-willed woman, very, very strong in the word, carries herself. When she walks in the room, she commands the room, a true woman of virtue, and not one to bite her tongue. But I saw my dad really have the grace to not handle her, but to minister to her. And I just had the example in front of me. So, when I got the interactions with you, I just was like, man, I get it now. You carry that same fatherly mantle, that spiritually fatherly mantle, and that's impacted so many young men. I tell you what, it's funny when I told a few players that's on the team right now, I told them that I said I got Chap coming on, and it was like, who? I said Coach Castille, Coach Jeremiah. And I was like, oh yeah, he about to be preaching to you now. I said, that's exactly what I want. I said that I'm in a space in my life, that's what I survive on, my faith. I literally have went days without eating during this transition because I had to rely on my faith, knowing that I had a mission to do or whatever, an assignment, and just carry it through and trust God in it. And he's always kept me. So I'm grateful. One final thing before we get out of here. I know I'm holding you way longer than I expected. It's just been so awesome. Chat, if y'all enjoying this, please do not forget to like and share the stream. And just make sure y'all subscribe. We're going to get Mr. Castille's all his social tags and things plugged in at the end of the show. But make sure y'all support it and share the live right now. Let everybody know that we having a real conversation. It's Bigger Than Bar here with Coach Smook, with our special guest, Jeremiah Castille, the great former Alabama DB, and now just motivational speaker, pastor, leader, father to many. I mean, just continuing the legacy. When you look back on everything, when you finally, allow yourself to settle down, right? Because only you gonna stop you, or when God settle you down. What is it that you want? What is it that you want to be said about Jeremiah Castille when people speak on that name, when they speak on that legacy? What is it that you want it to be?
That my life demonstrated two things. He loved God and he loved people. That's it. He loved God and he loved God's creation.
One of the biggest commandments, love those as you love yourself. Oh man, it's so simple yet so profound, because it for people to know that you love God, is one thing to say it, but your life has to show it. Like That's a place where I'm at in life, even with rebranding, not necessarily rebranding, but shaping the brand that I represent now. Authenticity is, being who I am in God, and that's been carried me. I've never been ashamed, but just shaping how others going to perceive it, because like you, somebody's always watching, and I'm on the most craziest platform. So I've been really reshaping it, and it's been impact, sir. The journey is just beginning, and I've been through so much already. I know the latter will be greater. And you get what I'm saying? Like
Oh,
is there? So
you I was sharing. I shared with our players. I said, "Man, I'm a happy 65-year-old. I'm happy, and that's because all of your days are connected.
yeah,
And what I mean by that is, you're gonna manifest the fruit of your life based on the decisions you make in the early parts of your life, and that's where faith comes in. You need to be a man or woman of faith because you want your latter years to be greater than your former years.
yes,
Well,
sir.
yeah, the only way that's gonna happen is you put some seed in the ground.
Yes, sir. And you tended to it. You didn't just
Yeah,
put it there and expect it to grow on its own. You had to do the work to make sure
that,
it grew the right way.
I like to call it sacrificial giving.
Yes, sir.
That's the big, you learn how to be sacrificial. That's what it takes to love people, to love God's people. You have to. There's a sacrifice there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, Miss Castille, I'm gonna give you the floor to kind of just speak to the community, man. I know for a fact, this was monumental. Not just for the content side of things, but I don't ask God for much. I just ask for clarity and guidance, in this season of my life. And I just I don't know why I hadn't been reached out. We've crossed paths on the Bama Standard back in 2022. Um, I mean, I just don't know why I haven't. And it's like every encounter that I had in this space that's been impactful has been like divine timing. And sir, I'm gonna tell you, like in front of my live audience, like I needed that confirmation of who I was gleaning to and gravitating to in this. Like the past 2 years, I just find myself watching your storylines, just watching all the motivational stuff that you do, and it always hits me in those moments where I could really use it. So I just want to publicly, before I give you the floor, I just want to thank you for coming on, taking time out your schedule to come and just share with us. And that's all we want to do. We want people to understand, like we highlighted maybe 3 minutes of your football career. Everything, you're so much more than what you did on the field. And like you said, that's just a platform. Your legacy is really what you do past that. Who are you? How much change are you impacting, and what kind of change are you impacting? And are you bringing souls? It's the mission. But sir, the
Yes.
floor is yours. Let the people know how they could support you, about your foundations and everything you got going on. And just know you got a consistent supporter in Coach Smook over here. But go ahead, sir. The floor is yours.
Well, our, our one of our taglines in our ministry is called "Invest." We invest to influence, so that we can impact and inspire. That's what we do. And we recently changed our name to Castille Family Foundation. And it's still Jeremiah Castille Foundation right now. But if you want to go to Castille foundation.org, if you're looking to support us, that's where you can go. But invest so that you can influence. The greatest power that we have is the ability to influence. And that only comes when we're willing to invest. And after you do those two things, then what you're going to find is you're going to start impacting people's lives. And from there comes inspiration. I'm a product of leadership. I live an inspired life today because of men like my father, Joseph Castille, men like Coach Paul W. Bryant, who invested, influenced, impacted, and inspired my life. And those four things is what we do at Castille Family Foundation.
That's awesome, sir. And the funny thing is, I was looking at the site yesterday, and I said, I said, that's my classmate right there. And then I was like, nah, that ain't her. And then I looked to the left, I see your son. I was like, okay, yeah, that is my people right there. I said, yeah, it's gonna be funny. So, sir, what we're gonna do is, and like I said, I just appreciate you for coming on. What we want to do is with this Bigger Than Ball series. I know you have different stipulations of where I can be, but we want to get a day in the life at possibly an event, a foundational event. So we'll be monitoring your upcoming events, even if it's a speaking engagement. We want to be a part of just the rest of this journey of this legacy and just I don't know outside of donating because that's something that I'm bringing across the team, but I don't know how we're going to be a
We,
part of it.
with
How we
Coach Smook,
partner?
we're gonna be doing something in Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
When we get all off, I'll touch base with you. We touch base by phone. I'll kind of give you some insight, and we can look to plan to we do that event, and we plan on having some Alabama players at it.
Okay.
And
Yes, sir.
we're gonna come to Montgomery. We're gonna invest in that next generation of young people, and I'll talk to you about that.
Yes, sir. Look, I'm all down for it. I actually have some meetings set up with the high school programs in the city, trying to expand our app that we're using to help with scouting and recruiting, getting these guys in the right pipelines, getting the right people that know the right people, evaluating these guys and getting
Yeah.
them some looks. So, this is like I said, divine timing, sir. But once again, I truly appreciate you. I thank God for you. Tell your daughter thank you. She was very prompt and helpful. I love what y'all family doing, keeping it in the family, making it, understanding the value and the legacy. I love what your children are doing. And I see your grandkids coming up now. You got your grandson getting he becoming one of them top prospects. I've been watching him a little bit. So
Yeah, we
uh
got a granddaughter that's a 2030 basketball prospect.
yeah, I mean, listen, I be trying to keep up with all the recruiting stuff. That's really what got me into this industry. Just I didn't know I was as plugged into recruiting as I was. I just thought I was reading in the papers and going and watching the high school games and being at all these camps like everybody else. I didn't know it was value in it. So it's crazy how God will find the wise things. He'll use the small things to what is it? The foolish to confound the wise. Yeah, he'll use the small things to blow your mind. So I said, God, you whatever you're doing in this season, I'm ready for it. But I truly appreciate you, sir. And as always, all love from this way. Coach Smook Network, AAA family. Y'all give it up one last time for Mr. Castille. Can you drop your what's your most active social media so we can get everybody to follow you and make sure they keeping up with the inspiration?
We've really here in the last few months really doing a lot on TikTok.
Okay.
So and you tell them age. I'm telling my age now because I'm Caleb. My son Caleb is really handling all.
Yeah.
I'm, I could even tell you. I think it's Jeremiah dot Castille, something like that.
Look, we'll plug it in on the edit when I post the edit. We'll premiere the edit and we're gonna plug it in with a nice little graphic and everything.
Coach
But
Brooks, we need to get Caleb on here with me the next time we come on.
I was just about to ask you, see the spirit knows,
think
see
that'd
the
be
spirit.
a great addition. It'd be a good show.
Yes, sir. I'm down for that. Anytime y'all ready. Look, we connected now for real, for real. It's funny seeing you on the screen. But the times you came back home and you've done things in the community back home and then seeing you at different church, when churches gather and stuff, convocation type events. I'm like, yeah, it's just funny that how things are coming full circle. But I'm so appreciative of you, sir. And thank you for coming through and you enjoy the rest of your day, man. I'm gonna close up here and anything you want to say to the people before you get up out of here?
Hey, I like to tell people stay focused, stay faithful, stay humble, and the Lord of heaven and earth will raise you up in due season.
Yes, sir. Look, we'll take that and we're gonna run with it. And we receive all the blessings and continue to pray that God shower down his favor and his blessings on your life, sir, because you've done a great work and is nowhere near finished. and I'm glad to be connected to it. You know, I'm just grateful for God seeing me worthy enough to be a part of something, no matter how big or how small it is, to know that I was in the right place at the right time to receive this. I'm grateful, sir. I appreciate you.
Amen.
Yes,
Enjoy
sir.
the conversation. God bless.
God bless you too, sir. Y'all give it up for Mr. Castille, y'all. Jeremiah Castille, y'all. Give it up. You take care, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Yo, man, hold on. That just happened. Hold on. I gotta do you know what I'm saying? I gotta do the big applause for that one, man. That was crazy. Shout out to Jeremiah Castille. I forgot to do the question and answers, the Q&A, but as you heard, he's going to be coming back, and we'll be bringing Caleb on this time. I might even want to get, I'm gonna see who I could get in to kind of speak on for Woodrow, Uncle Woodrow Lowe, and I know Ventrice Davis. He was one of my coaches. He played with Woodrow during that time. I didn't realize how much greatness came out of Phoenix City and Columbus, Georgia, and went through Bama. You know, sometimes it just kind of erases it kind of evades you because there's so much new talent, so much new hype around it with the new social media area, but the new social media era. But I look at it now, man, and I just look at the legacy. You know, being a young black man from Phoenix City, you know, I won't do it on the field. I won't do it on the court. I probably won't even do it on the sidelines. But what God has given us in this space, I find great encouragement, man, and I feel a real push to really pick my energy up, pick my motivation up to shoot for the stars in this industry and continue to be authenticity above all, like God planned for it to be. What's up, big homie? And yeah, thank you, Mr. Castille, once again for coming through today. You know, I mean, so many other people could have, you know, had his time, and God saw fit for us to have it, and I'm honored, I'm privileged, y'all. Y'all know me. I'm trying to get Rodney Orr back on. Y'all know I love to get my big brother, longtime Bama beat writer and cover, of course, Rodney Orr. We got to get him on for Bigger Than Ball because he is such a monumental piece in the sports writing part and has impacted my growth in this industry. So definitely want to get him on. Looking to get Christian Jones. I'm making public proclamations or requests right now. A lot of these guys we've had interactions with. Christian Jones is somebody I'm going to see visit their school soon for their spring ball. So we'll probably get that interaction done in person. And that's the thing. We're definitely going to be having fun doing some. Hopefully we get to do the interaction with Mr. Castille. Did he come back on? But we're gonna do the interaction with him, the day in the life of, and we're gonna get it done, y'all. We're gonna get it done, and I appreciate everybody. So if you are here and you watching it live, thank you for coming in, tuning in live. If you're watching the post live, make sure you leave a like, make sure you leave a comment, share the content. Let me know what you like most about this, and leave some suggestions on how we can probably enhance the show. What would you like to see? Would you like to see some B-roll footage during the live? Because we plan to do it in the edit, whatever you want to see to make this experience and this interaction more authentic and more attractive for you viewers, the AAA family, the supporters. I truly appreciate you. Shout out to our sponsors at Walk-Ons, Helping Hands LLC, Got One, Scouting and Recruiting, Sports Info Solutions. I was about to say information, and I keep thinking about Mark. Every time I say that, I get ready to say it, I think about Mark, what he said in the meeting yesterday. But Sports Info Solutions, we appreciate you all for coming on as partners. Goomba Bullies, you want to get a big old muscle baby like I got, hit up my boy. They will hook you up, quality, reassured. You can train them to be protective. You can, they're homey, family animals, family pets, family members. Like I got a great companion here in my dog Boss, and my son Boss. And then shout out to Man Standard Executive Security, man. You need any event security, some high level security, quality security, not flashy stuff, real quality execution, everything, prior service, special firsts, all that good stuff, you know, cool guy stuff. Man Standard Executive Security. And then last but not least, Yawn Urban Streetwear and Apparel, man. My brother is doing some crazy work with his brand right now. Got the clothing line popping off. And we got some more partners and things that we're going to be announcing here. Like I said, God has us in a crazy good place right now, and we're going to take advantage of it and take advantage of every opportunity that he presents to us. But without further ado, man, I appreciate y'all for tapping in today. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And remember, when you see me in the streets, holla at me and say,
in the game, Coach Smook.
hey, I'll holla at y'all on the next one. And on the next episode of Bigger Than Ball, we're going to have another surprise for y'all. Remember, it's bigger than ball. Life, legacy, the grind. That's all that matters. Y'all have a blessed one. I'll catch up with y'all later. Let's go. Bigger than ball.